I think someone asked me if I play Elden Ring, or I play GTA once every 2 months. Elden Ring, I'm not doing that shit. Leave me the fuck alone, bro. First of all, that shit is harder than the fitness journey. I tried, I tried it for like a day, but that shit's way harder than the fitness journey. If you could complete Elden Ring and you're not lean, I don't know what you're doing, bro. That shit's way harder than nutrition. Now, let's get into it. Why you need to put yourself first as a man, especially in today's day and age. Right? If you want to get this ready, you feel me? You want to see abs, you want to feel good, and have confidence. Listen, this day was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. This day, a bunch of shit happened the night before. Anyways, that stuff's gonna be on for the Patreon, anyways. But if you want to be the best version of yourself, you have to put yourself first. A lot of you guys think that putting others first is like, oh, like I'm a good person. Nobody fucking cares if you're quote unquote, if you think you're a good person or you're trying to do something to be a good person. That doesn't make any sense. You have to put yourself first so you can be the best version of yourself for other people and you have more to give and you have more value to give. Now, this video is not for you if you're lazy and unable to delay gratification, which is most fucking people. If you're uncoachable and not willing to commit to a plan for 6 months, that means you're not in the right mindset of delaying gratification. If you're full of excuses and you constantly do fad diets, this is not for you. If you always think that you're the victim, this is not for you. If you don't want to prioritize yourself and your health, obviously this is what this video is about. This is not for you. Now, a lot of you guys really, 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 like I said, need a wake-up call. Like you're constantly being like, nah, man, like this job, like I can't go to the gym. Like I don't have time to go to the gym because this job is like it's like so intense. It's like, bro, keep having that mentality. And when you have a heart attack and you can't show up for work for a couple of weeks because you have a heart attack and you have to recover, they're going to replace you. You're going to lose your job and you don't have your health. All right. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. So put your health first. If Jeff Bezos has a health scare or some shit, he is going to focus on making sure that his health is in check. Because if he doesn't have his health, who's running the company? Right? How is he going to run the company? Right? So you need to make sure that you're putting yourself first. No one, like, listen, there's no benefits to being a nice guy. You could try it, right? I've done this shit. Listen, every time I tell you guys about something, I've done this shit. There are no benefits to being a nice guy. When you try to please everybody except yourself, right? Everyone is going to, take advantage of you. And everyone's gonna like you except yourself, but no one's gonna respect you, and definitely no chicks are gonna be, into you. You're gonna be that guy that they call. Like, I remember this is like never happened to me, but I'd be seeing people saying stuff like, "Yeah, man, my homegirl, she called me and she was talking to me about, the guy that was always being an asshole to her." Bro, if a girl called me and started talking about, if it's not my sisters, if a girl calls me, right, and we're not blood related, and she starts talking about some other nigga, bro, I'm hanging up the phone and blocking her, bro. Hanging up the phone and blocking, like, what the fuck would I be doing? Like, you're being a nice guy, bro. I don't have time for that shit. I'm usually the guy that they're calling, to complain to other dudes about type shit. You see, I don't waste my time fucking listening to that shit. You don't get any awards for being a nice guy. Nobody respects you, right? And respect is by far the respect is earned, but it's like that's what people really seek. If you can just put one thing that people prioritize, it's like respect. But that shit is earned. It's not given, right? You're rewarded for being agreeable and selfless, but you're definitely going to be punished when you draw those boundaries. Like I said, when you're agreeable, selfless, and you always do stuff for others, as soon as you stop doing stuff for others, if you're always going out of your way to do it, they're going to lose respect for you because they never really wanted you for anything except that. So a lot of you guys have these friends, or you think you have friends, or you think your boss likes you, but it's just that you're going above and beyond. As soon as you stop going above and beyond, giving them gifts, giving them extra money, giving them this, giving them that, they're going to be like, what the fuck? But in reality, you're the one that created those boundaries initially. For example, a lot of you guys are like, man, my girl just wants me for money. Your first date, she was like, yeah, I want to see you. You're like, all right, bet, let's go to Ruth Chris. You did that shit. All right. So, off rip, if a chick, if you take a chick, you take a woman to Ruth Chris on the first date, her expectations of you are going to be different than if she comes over to my place or some shit like that. Right. I'll be like, oh yeah, come over to my place, bring some food and cook this shit. That's the complete opposite of Ruth Chris. And that's what I make them do. Come over, bring some fucking food, cook this shit. All right. Versus you're bringing them to Ruth Chris. So they're always going to expect you to spend money on them or give them experience or some shit like that. And I'm always going to expect them to do some shit. Hey, man, I ain't really trying to clean. You trying to clean? Or some shit like that. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm going to do. And you created that boundary. All right. Whatever boundary you create is the boundary that they're going to have. And a lot of you guys don't realize that. A lot of you guys are like, man, I keep getting disrespected. And then you guys tell me about the first interaction with the chicken. I'm like, well, you're being super nice. And, you put these certain expectations. Like, you're like, okay, let me open the door for you. Let me take you to Ruth Chris. You're overcompensating because you didn't believe you had enough value. And everything you did that night put them on a pedestal. So they automatically were like, oh, okay, well, I'm above this motherfucker. But that's because you put them on a pedestal. They didn't walk up to the pedestal. You put them on it. You picked them up and you put them on it. right? That's why they're acting that way. If you don't prioritize yourself, your health, your vision, your purpose, and you put yourself last, everyone else will put you last first. As well. And stop being surprised when people put you last and don't respect you if you don't respect yourself. If this is your stomach, then you obviously don't respect yourself. And yeah, the average weight for males in America 20 years or older is 199.8, right? And we already know the average body fat is 28%, because 199.8 isn't bad if you have a lot of muscle mass, but most people don't, right? So 199.8 is a lot of people, because there's a lot of skinny fat people with high body fats, a lot of medium fat people with high body fats, and a lot of fat people with high body fats that are driving around at Walmart with those fucking electric carts. All right. So, reason number one you need to put yourself first is because you can't lead or provide if you're empty. So if you don't put yourself first, you literally have no value. Like when you're not constantly working on yourself, you literally have no value, and you're out of shape, and you have no direction, and you're not going to be assertive, and your testosterone is probably not going to be high because you have excess fat, right? A lot of you guys, like I said, this self-sacrifice shit, like you guys always think it's noble and shit like that, right? You guys are not in the 300 BCs where you sacrificing yourself is like, saving a bunch of your like a whole army or some shit. You guys are just literally self-sabotaging your own health. You're sabotaging your own respect for yourself. You're losing respect for yourself. All right, it's gonna lead to burnout. And when you make those boundaries, whereas you're doing stuff for others they're never doing for you, and then you ask them to do something, they're like, no, that's gonna create resentment and depression. You're gonna feel like no one values you, but it's because you don't value yourself. It always stems from that. Like you can't, like, here's the thing, a lot of you guys that type shit, this is what you guys look like. All right. And you don't respect yourself. It's pretty obvious. I don't have to say anything. If this is what you look like, you don't respect yourself. It's that simple. Well, God forbid someone have a good beer. Shut up. All right. Now, there's a lot of people, examples would be like a dad with no energy, or the friend who's always there but never progressing, that type of shit, right? Because there are a lot of people I look up to. They are fathers, but they put themselves first, and then because they put themselves first, they're always going to be able to provide for their kids, and the wife is always going to respect them. Versus the people who are like, wait, I have to ask my wife for this, I have to ask my wife for that. They're just a bitch, bro. And their wife is never going to respect them. All right. Then their wife steps out, and they're like, oh my God, I did everything for her. I can't believe she stepped out. It's like, bro, you were out of shape, and you're always putting her first. Like, she's not going to respect you. Of course she's going to step out. What do you expect? Now, this is my favorite analogy right here. When you're on the plane, all right, you put the oxygen on yourself before you put the oxygen on, your kid. Like if you're there with your kid, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on your kid. Why? Because if you try to put it on your kid, but you don't give any to yourself, you both are going to die. That's how it is when you don't prioritize yourself and you try to give to others, right? So if you want to be the best version of yourself, make sure you are someone worth following first. Like because the thing is, like, a lot of you guys lack self-awareness because you guys look up to Goku. You guys look up to, some of you guys might look up to, David Goggins, or just like all these, public figures and stuff. You look up to them and you are nothing like them, right? You're not in shape. You don't have any passion. You don't have any direction. You don't have consistency, and you don't have discipline, right? So why would you be worth following? A lot of you guys are like, oh my God, like these women won't submit to me. Like you have you have nothing to submit to. Like you don't have an empire. You're not building anything. You're literally just some out of shape dude, who smells like ass and plays Roblox. All right. So the only way to really build your self-respect and to get that self-confidence is to prioritize yourself. I really recommend everybody have a period in life, at least 6 months, preferably like a year, where you're seriously just locked into working on yourself and actually learning yourself. Like, who am I? Like, do I like doing this? Do I like doing that? What do I want to do? What am I passionate about? Just spending a year learning yourself. And the gym is going to be the basis of that, because you can't think clearly and, be your best version of yourself without being in shape, obviously. So I always recommend everyone do like a 1 year. Obviously, it includes fitness, but really just finding yourself, reading books, because I really believe that all of us are meant to, have purpose, obviously. All of us are meant to be in the best shape that we can, because it just gives you more confidence and it gives you more self-belief. But spending that time alone will also give you more leverage, because then you're going to be like, anytime you're dealing with a chick, like you guys be dealing with chicks and you guys be like, oh my God, I need a chick. I need to have 3 chicks in rotation, or I need 2 chicks in rotation. And you're always messaging chicks, approaching chicks and stuff like that. Because in reality, you don't want to be alone. Like, you're scared to be alone. But when you're not scared to be alone, then, people go out their way to come up to you, talk to you, and stuff like that. But then also, you won't have an issue being alone, and you will stay away from situations that you don't like, that don't benefit you. Because a lot of you guys will be like, well, I went to the club with this chick because she said that's where we have to go for the first date. Versus me, I'm just not fucking going. If she's like, hey, I'm not going anywhere but the club on the first date, that's fine. I'll just block you or unmatch you, unfollow you, whatever, whatever. I don't fucking care. It's not that big of a deal. And that's what you guys lack, right? Because for me, the only way to really get abundance mindset and get out of scarcity mindset is, damn it, I said it right, scarcity mindset. There we go. The only way to get into abundance mindset and stay away from scarcity mindset is realistically to experience more and to spend that time alone, right? Because the thing is, I always tell you guys this shit, and it's happened a gajillion times. I can message 10 chicks, right? And 5 of them will be like, oh, I'm too busy and you live too far anyways. I might live 2 hours away. The other 5 will be like, oh, okay, well, no, 3 of the other 5 will be like, I'll have to check my schedule. And then 2 of them will be like, oh my God, yeah, like I'll come over and I'll do whatever you want. I'm free whenever for you and stuff like that. So it's just like, that's 2 out of 10, right? But that's how shit works, right? And that gives you more of an abundance mindset. A lot of you guys are shooting one shot a year, or you're dealing with one chick a year and you're like, dang, I get no chicks. Oh my God, they hate me. And it's just one chick that didn't like you. And there's probably like 1,000 chicks that do. You feel what I'm saying? Press pause. All right, we're back. All right, anyways, when you start to prioritize yourself, you start to go to the gym, wake up early, and put yourself first. Like, it's a great feeling. I'm not gonna lie. Like, one of the greatest feelings is after you were in a relationship where you put someone else first, after you were in some situation with friends where you used to put them first. You used to be the friend that pays for everything. You used to be the friend that always goes out their way to do stuff, that's always available, always in the group chat helping others, and you're always putting your girlfriend first and she was disrespecting you. Once you get out of those situations and you put yourself first and you're really at peace and it's like a Sunday night and you got no negative text messages and you got a plan for the week and you're progressive, you got some more money going in the bank, you're saving more money, you investing in stocks, you're getting leaner, you know what I'm saying? You wake up on Monday morning, you see your abs, you get a promotion at work. Like shit like that really starts to happen. You're really gonna be like, yo, it's not the actual things that happen, it's why they happened and who you're becoming that you really like. It's like these things are only happening because you're putting yourself first, right? Because those actions, when they compound, when you start getting success in different realms, you're gonna start to be like, damn, like I'm really him, like I'm really that dude. You see what I'm saying? You don't just wake up and you're just like, I'm him. It's like these moments make you feel that way. All right. You don't gain confidence from compliments. You gain it from keeping your word to yourself, guys. All right. Self-confidence. Like I said earlier with the plane example, right? This is exactly what I meant. Now, most men are conditioned to serve everyone but themselves, right? Society, school, all that shit is always saying, oh, be a nice guy, open the door, blah, blah, blah. But then you see the motherfuckers who get results, right? Right? Like my homeboys that are fucking assholes, I've never seen them not dealing with like multiple chicks or in a relationship, right? Like I know a lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, why do abusive dudes always, they're never single and shit like that?" It's just like, listen, you just look at what gets results, and it's when you put yourself first. That's who gets the best results in all aspects of life, right? Financially, physically, attraction wise, it's always gonna get the best results. All right, if you're being a nice guy and all that other shit, first of all, dudes aren't gonna respect you, and dudes are gonna be like, oh, okay, he's a bitch, right? And the girls are gonna be like, ew, this nigga's a pussy, right? That's how they think, and it is a sign of it is just weakness. All right, it's literally just weakness. And when I say nice guy, I'm just saying going out of your way to try to compensate everybody else except yourself, right? If you compensated yourself and you're just helping someone out because they need help in a situation or something like that, that's totally fine, right? I'm not saying be an absolute douchebag or whatever every single day. Now, the truth is, if you don't prioritize your health, your vision, your purpose, someone else will assign your role in their story, and you'll be stuck playing, NPC character in your own life. And another thing is, during your fitness journey, when you're eating the food, when you're doing the workouts, you realize like you get to a point where you're like, okay, like because you mess up and then you get back on track and you're like, dang, dude, like I watched the motivation videos, I saw the lean people, but at the end of the day, it's my journey, it's my responsibility. You start to realize like if you don't lock in, if you don't lock in for yourself, no one else is gonna lock in for you. Like that's what you start to realize, and it's crazy. It's like, holy shit! Like if I don't put myself first, you know, and I don't do the workouts, no one else will do the workouts for me. If I don't eat healthy and I don't watch my health and I don't look at my blood sugar, I don't look at my blood pressure, I don't do this, I don't do that, no one else is going to do it for me, right? And you'll have moments, which is why I said every man needs to get on that journey, that 1 year journey. You'll have moments where you feel super lonely, like, yo, no one's paying my bills for me. And here's the thing, if someone's not paying your bills for you, which I mean, they're probably not going to be. You're going to be paying your own bills. They shouldn't be dictating what you do and how you do shit. So when you start like paying your own bills, you're in your own place, and you feel me, and you're responsible for your own physique and shit like that. You're responsible for if you want a social life, you got to create that social life. You want a chick, you gotta seek out that chick. When you're responsible for everything in your life, and you take responsibility and accountability for it, no one can tell you what the fuck to do. You see what I'm saying? Like, you really get to a point where you're like, why would I listen to other people anyways? Because you have to do everything by yourself anyways. Like the journey, you realize it feels lonely at first, but then it also gives you power because it's like, I'm the reason I'm not where I want to be, but I'm also the reason I will be the reason I get to where I want to get to. All right. This is the biggest one. The world treats you how you treat yourself. All right. People respect boundaries. All right. They do. I know a lot of you guys are scared to create these boundaries. You guys are scared to be like, well, at work, I had to eat the snack. No, the fuck you didn't. No one's forcing you to eat shit. When I was at work, right, it was so interesting to see the lack of respect I got when I started versus when I was like in the later stages of my nursing journey, how much respect I got. Like the head of nursing, she was a nurse practitioner or whatever, but the head of nursing would tell the other nurses, she's like, oh, could you guys tell Luther to do this and do that? These are just small things. I know he's agency, but just tell him to do those two things, right? When she literally passed me in the hallway, bro. I didn't even know it was her, but she passed me in the hallway. That bitch, she was scared to look at me. You could feel like she was scared of me. I was like, why is this bitch scared of me? You could feel the energy. And then they were like, hey, she said she walked by you and she was going to say something, but she was scared. I was like, yeah, because she respects the boundaries. Because I told them up front, I'm like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I'm not doing this. And then I stuck to my word and they're like, yo, this nigga's serious. I was like, yo, I'm not coming in on weekends. I'm not coming in here. I'm not coming in there. I'm not burning out. Because I'm not going to fucking, like, it's not going to make a difference if I burn out. You're just going to be like, oh, well, Luther's willing to work extra. And you're going to keep giving me extra shifts, right? Because as soon as you're like, yo, I'll do overtime, then they're just going to take advantage of you instead of being like, hey, I appreciate you for doing overtime. And that's another thing, being staff versus agency nurse. When you're staff, they're like, oh, you need this job, bitch. You signed a 2-year contract. You can't leave, motherfucker. But when you're agency, they're like, we need you. Oh my God, thank you for working. Like after every shift, they're like, thank you so much. We needed you. And they respect you so much more and give you way more respect. And you usually get paid more, which is just crazy. But that just shows what happens when you have leverage, right? The staff nurse has to stay. Like she has a 2-year contract. Right? She needs that job for her family, right? She's dependent on the job. The agency nurse has a short-term contract, right? And you really need him for those 3 months because those are the 3 busiest months, and he's filling in shifts that you really need, and you don't want to piss him off or piss him or her off, the agency nurse off, so that they leave, and then you have a gap, and then you have a hole in care, right? So that's the difference. So when you have leverage, everything's good. It's just like being single versus being in a relationship, right? Like when you're single, the girl is always seeing that she's always competing for other people, and she's always realizing like, oh my God, like I really need him. I want to lock him down. I want to lock him down. Then you're in a relationship and you get comfortable, you get out of shape, and then she's like, oh, is he really the best option? And then you have situations like when I was in the gym today, where dudes just mate guarding and shit, and like trying to shadow box and stuff because his girl was looking, but I wasn't looking back at her. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take my pump cover off because she was like staring too hard. So I was like, okay, I'm definitely not taking my pump cover off because I was looking crazy. You know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna take it off. But yeah, you're gonna have mate guarding situations where the chick is just like, I don't know if this guy's the best option type shit. You see what I'm saying? But yeah. When you stop asking for permission to improve, the world's gonna adjust to your new standard. All right, raise your standards, and the world's gonna adjust to it. Here it is. This one's funny because listen, this is how y'all motherfuckers be on the computer and shit. All right, and I used to be there too. That's the only reason I can say this shit. I used to be a hater too, man. Let's just keep it real. I used to be a hater, man. I still might be a hater for some people, but I used to be a certified hater. But like most people who are successful and on the up and up and focused on themselves, they just don't have hating energy. Like I said, every time I link with my homeboys that are lean, in shape, everything, they're doing what they need to do. When they're controlling what they need to control, life is good because they're doing everything they could, and they get the chicks they want. They're in shape. You feel me? They're in the best shape of the people around them. They're just cool in it, man. They have good vibes. They're like, hey, bro, what's good, man? How you doing? Good vibes. The bad vibes and the negative vibes come from people who aren't where they want to be, and it's only their fault. So that's why they resent others. All right. When you constantly put yourself last, you're gonna resent those who don't. Right. That's why I be getting the haters in the comment. I put myself first. Motherfuckers be making the dumb excuses. You don't understand my situation. Like I always say, if you have a big ass stomach, I understand that you overeat. That's enough. That's all I need to know. You have no discipline. Has nothing to do with me. You're the one chewing the food, fat fuck. Anyways, it's like when you prioritize yourself, you clear up a lot of emotional space, and you do feel like you take back control of your life, right? Self-prioritization is going to kill quiet resentment and make you a better man in every relationship, bro. Everything's going to be better. Like I said, the reason my environment and the people I keep around me are locked in doing what they need to do is because that keeps them in a positive mindset in general. Like if I'm around people who are victims, then they're always on some negative shit like, oh, did you see what the government did? Nigga, the government's been doing different shit since like 1960. They've been fucking people over since 1960. If you focus on the ways they're fucking you over, right, you're not gonna focus on the ways you could solve it, right? So because you focus on problems or solutions, you can't focus on both at the same time. All right. Now, how to start prioritizing yourself? Set non-negotiables and don't negotiate with them. I know a lot of you guys negotiate with non-negotiables, which is absolutely fucking crazy because it's called a non-negotiable for a reason. But you should be gymming consistently 4 to 5 times a week, no matter what's going on, right? Reading, right? Nutrition should be in check and sleep should be in check. Now, these things, the gym, diet, and sleep, those aren't things you can negotiate with. Nothing comes before that because if you don't put those first, your health is going to be on the back burner. Then you're going to be sick in the hospital. Then someone else will have to take care of you. If you don't take care of yourself, you guarantee that in the future, someone will have to take care of you. Boom. Build a vision. What kind of man do you want to be in 1 year, 6 months, 5 years, all that shit. Learn to say no without guilt, which is only going to come from saying no over and over and over again. You're not going to be, you're not going to feel non-guilty the first time you say no. You're going to feel guilty as shit. And look at your environment. Cut distractions. Limit toxic people. Most of you guys think that having a lot of friends is a good thing, but it's all about quality over quantity. Like, if you have 50 friends, congratulations, and they're all dragging you down, that's not a good thing. If you have 2 solid friends, you're good. Simple. All right, so people aren't going to get it at first, obviously, when you start your journey. Listen, if you got Haitian parents, you already know, because my parents were like, what the fuck is this dude doing? Like, trying to be fit and shit. This dude's weird, right? And this is gaslighting. I'm not going to let it slide. It's fucking insane. Anyways, they're gonna call you selfish, arrogant, and all that stuff. But if you don't put yourself first, like I said, you guarantee that someone will be taking care of you in the future. But you're also gonna feel horrible about yourself and not have self-confidence and be in a bad mood all the time. When you see people in a bad mood all the time, they don't put themselves first. That's why they're always in a bad mood. You see what I'm saying? Like it's annoying. It's like I'm like, yo, this nigga's always in a bad mood. It's because they don't put themselves first, right? And they feel like they never have time for themselves. If you put yourself first, you're always gonna make time for yourself. Whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you'll make time. Most people fear a man who chooses himself because it exposes their own lack of discipline, right? And when you put yourself first and you start to accomplish things that you said you would accomplish, you have a lot of power and have a lot of leverage, and you're not wanting for anything from anybody, right? You're not dependent on anybody, right? So you can't be controlled. So stay the course. Remember, it's your life. Don't be living other people's life or other people's expectations. Now that you see exactly how to put yourself first, if you're fat as shit, you want to get lean, you want to get locked in, you want to see abs, you want to learn to put yourself first, link is in the description. Stay blessed. Amen.